Hey everyone, this is 10x Dragon. I am just waiting for Guildfest to be over. I did it on 4 accounts, so I'm a little drained here. I got 2,300 on my alt and over 2,000 on my main, and a good 1,600 on one of the other accounts, and another like 1,200 plus. So it's like over like 7,500 something points, and it gets a little draining. So I'm glad that that's coming over, and I'm gonna have to probably kick a bunch of people who did not take it seriously, and kick them out at least until the gift giving portion of the rewards is done. So I'm gonna probably get a lot of mail for people who are like whining about it or making excuses about it. But really, it's not fair to the rest of the guild that has been, working so hard on the quest and helping each other out to just, make an exception. Sometimes if someone is close, I'll, give them maybe a penalty. It's like, hey, you have to give us, give the war bank 100 million, resources, or go kill, 20, at least level 2 or higher monsters. But at this point, I'm like, the rules. We've given you guys so many warnings and opportunities. So if you don't follow it, you're just getting kicked. And then you can reapply just like you were a new person, going forward. And unless it's a special, really special circumstance, like, we have some members who are in Ukraine right now. So, based on that situation, I'll give a little leeway, of course, because, real life always comes first in this game. But the whole video that I wanted to kind of share with you guys today is how do you join a guild that you'd love to be in, like your, dream guild, or one that's going to help you grow. And I get so many emails or messages, and people writing on the Diplo like knock knock or open or just apply blindly, and that's the biggest mistake ever. Like, as an R5, and especially as Overlord of a kingdom, you get so many messages per day, not only in game, but then when people have your line or your Discord server, and other channels, it gets to be a lot. And so there's also a lot of administrative things that you have to do every day. And so if you're getting the same kind of emails, you almost have to think about it like a dating site. If someone goes and just says hi or pokes you, you're not going to really engage them, right? It's just like, you don't have enough time or energy to go through all of those hundreds of type of mails. So I'm going to try to share with you guys on how you can be attractive to an R5 and an Overlord, and make them give you a chance by being able to join the guild. And really the main thing that you have to remember is that when you approach someone, right, you do not want to be about, well, I need this. Well, if I join you guys, I'll grow so much faster. You guys have so many guild gifts. I need this, or I want this. No one cares. And this also happens in real life too. It's a good concept, but no one really cares what you need. When you want to join an organization or a guild, or be a part of something, you have to demonstrate what value you bring to them. So, for example, I am a member also of LHO, and actually, I promised Rock I would hide the chat if I did videos or live stream about us. So now, with LHO, we're a 250 billion might guild. It's the same family that Maddie and a few other bigger players that you might know are, and we routinely win Emperor. Rock, my R5, just got Baron for our district. My 1 million T5, rest in peace. But troops are meant to die. This is a war game. This is not Farmville. So expect it and be okay with it. But it's very hard to get into this guild. So you have to bring value to the guild. So the number one thing that you need to do is you need to read the guild's board and what the requirements are here. We're around 3rd place, battling for Guildfest. It's really funny. At LHO, I was like, okay, we have a huge guild. We don't really care about Guildfest. Like, so many people are champ, 150 stars, and we still do Guild Fest on a crazy level. We're talking about 3,000 plus, members and stuff. So it's crazy. Like they're getting 3,000 points, or like very high up there in the 2,000s. And it's because that gold banner is pretty sexy. So you get this nice little gold banner once you rank up in the top 100 or something. So that's the main reason. So for me, what value I bring is that my alt is the Overlord of Kingdom 1000. So whenever we need to fight in Baron or Emperor, guess what? It's no problem for me to give the forts for the guild. So that in itself is a huge value for any guild. But on top of that, I know people in the guild. And my reputation that I've been building has been, really positive. He knows how to play. Even on both of my main accounts, I have over a 94, 95%, win rate, all that kind of stuff. So it really makes a big difference as well, in that process. So let me actually switch over now to my other account in Kingdom 1000, because this is a better example. Just give me 1 second here. All right. So I'm playing on a PC, and you can actually have an emulator for Android up. So I actually can play all 4 of my accounts on a PC. It just makes it much more fun and easier. I used to have like an iPad and an iPhone, and I would log in, log out of them all the time. And I'll still do that in a pinch as well. But the number one thing you need to do when you're applying for a guild is you need to look at what their requirements are. So if it's T4 or T5, or you need at least 80 sigils, make sure you have it. Like, don't waste everybody's time if you're not at least having those basics. There's nothing more frustrating to an R5 or even an R4s in leadership than having to ask, well, do you have our requirements and that vetting process? And if you don't, it's annoying. And then typically people go, well, just give me a chance. I'm active. I do this. If you can't have the minimum requirements, don't apply yet. Now, there can be exceptions, but most of the time those people end up getting kicked anyway. So just have that. And look at the value that you bring. So for us here in Kingdom 1000, it's pretty slow and dead now. That's probably my fault as well. But for us, we want to recruit people who have T4 and T5, but T4 is an absolute minimum. They have to have Discord because that's our primary communication channel. And if you're not willing to download it, then don't apply to our guild. We have a minimum of 1,500 points now for Guild Fest, so I fully expect that to be like the main target. This time we're transitioning from 1,200 points, so I'm giving leeway. But anyone under 1,200 points this time, I'm kicking from the guild tonight. And then we require the equivalent of like 4 level 2 plus monster kills per day on average for the week. You have to fill DN and war rallies. And anyone who is inactive for 2 days or more, at least without letting me know, they're going to be kicked. And then they can reapply later. But we also have the philosophy of one crew or no crew. So if you're not in guild, you can't complain if you get hit or 0. And of course, Discord is required for all members. And the number one thing is no drama, man. Don't cause issues. So make sure you know the rules of the guild. So like no monster hitting, no stealing, no tile hitting. Don't leave dirty tiles, especially if they're level 5. And like those basic things. And because of the translation engine that IGG has in the Lord's mobile game, there's no excuse. Like if you don't take time when you join a guild to read the board, that's on you. That's your responsibility. Saying I don't know just means you're a lazy mofo, and why should we even bother spending time helping you grow or develop, right? So that's a very basic aspect of it. So whenever I join a new guild, like when I joined LHO, I read the board. I always look up who our family guild and who our allies are so I don't, hit them. And that can change So it's a good idea to look at this board daily, just in case there are updates. But don't cause drama or problems for your guild leaders. Show everyone respect in your guild. Also, right? You're not entitled. No, you're not special. I'm not special. I could get zeroed at any time myself. That's just part of the game. But show each other respect and help out your other members, and then you become like family, and you create a really special bond with people. I was playing a multi-user dungeon game, a MUD, back in the old days, and this will age me and date me a little bit, but everything was text-based. So you were literally, to go north, you would type N, or to go east, you'd go east, and you'd have to remember the maps to the monster areas, and you could kill each other. You could actually like bring in aggro monsters into the town. We would kind of hack that around the code and like really kill everybody, so they would lose all their stuff. Like imagine getting killed and losing your champ gear or your like mythic gear, and it's gone forever. So those were the old days, and it was so fun. But it's the still same dynamic of having a guild, of building relationships. And when I turned 21, I had like 20 or 30 people fly out from all over the country to help me celebrate for a week. And we just completely tore up the town. And these are just people I met, online through the game. So there's a really cool, powerful connection you can make with your guild mates. And not just treat them as a commodity of what you can get from them, right? And everyone's going through so many things in their life too, right? And having empathy, that's really important. So when I see people fighting over, like, why did you steal my monster? When they may not have known, or if two people go for the same tile and one person loses because they think the other person's sped up, that makes me want to kick both of those people who are fighting. It's such a small, little, silly thing. So don't cause drama. Don't be that type of person that you care that much about, like a freaking gathering tile, right? I don't even really gather it. Or ever did, really, but unless my troops are in Sanctuary, which can happen, especially if you're sending all T5. But that's the number one thing you do. Read the board, make sure you meet the requirements. 2, don't just apply blindly as well. So let me see if I have it here, show you guys. If I go to my mail, it gets kind of crazy here. So I've already got 4 messages since last time I was in here. So here too, right, you have to look at, there's a translation, you have to hit that. So if I get a ton of message from someone, and that's the other thing, don't spam. Like if you're applying, just apply, send one mail, and be patient. And if it's taking too long, just cancel your application. Or before you apply, reach out to the proper recruitment person first. And that doesn't mean you reach out to every single R4 or the R5. If there's a specific person they say that's there for recruitment, like ours is a blue joker, you talk to that person, right? Because if you're coming to me, it's going to annoy me and my time as well. So follow the proper channel there. Unless you know me or you know someone who knows me, and it's that kind of recommendation. But let's see. That's actually someone who watched one of the YouTube videos as well in the Kingdom, saying it was helpful on how to run a DN properly with the buffers and everything. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. All right. Oh my gosh. I had a very specific mail from someone here. All right, let's check out this one. So this one was okay, right? Like, so this guy, Maximus 21091, he emailed me and says, hey, is it possible to join your guild? So now this part was a little bit not that good. Like I get attacks from F, which is our sub guild basically, and MD frequently. It's better to join you and fight together in KVK and others, regards. So that's the thing here. Like I had that one crew or no crew philosophy, so I didn't really make allies in this kingdom. So I just basically came in and I was like, if you're not in my guild tag, you're fair game, pretty much. Gay was the one exception, the GAA guild. just because I had friends there as well. So I would actually help them, get base and that sort of thing. Because I didn't want to be Overlord for a long time because it was just it's a lot of work. But when they migrated out, I was like, all right, I have to take the mantle, and then we just kind of destroyed everybody. so, but so this guy was okay, but I actually sent him to the sub guild rather than our guild, and it was kind of that because I get attacked constantly. But if you shield, you're not going to get attacked, and it's basic discipline. In LHO, if I don't have a shield, if anyone under 3 billion might does not have a shield, for perspective, when they're offline, if you're offline for more than 1 hour, you get kicked from the guild, right? Because people don't get zeroed in that guild. So unless you're like 3 billion plus might, and you gotta have a ton of troops, to have that might level, and that's just the rule, and that's okay. You can't complain if you were out, unless you let them know you're online, you're trapping, or you're doing whatever. But if they see you're offline for over 1 hour, if you're out of gear. Now, if you're in gear, they might give you a couple more hours, and of course they'll try to reach out to you to make sure. But that's an extra burden you're putting on leadership to do something for you and to look out for you, right? And most guild leaders like that, like LH, they're great, like Rock and Hippie, and people do look out for each other. That's one of the reasons why I like being in the guild too. Like, even though it's a powerhouse guild, they take care of their own, and they teach, and they're very, it's a very friendly guild. There's like no drama in that guild. So that's the biggest thing, right? So that one was not too good of a way to ask to join a guild here. This, hey, what does that mean? I'm not even gonna respond to hey or hi or any of those type of silly messages here. I think this might have been the guy. All right, so this guy wrote me, but this is not the beginning thread here. Let me find. And this is all from like yesterday. All right, so this is his first email to me, or message to me. I have T4, which is a requirement, so that was great. He told me that. I can join rallies, which is also a second requirement, which is awesome. I hunt for level 4 in 1 day, which is better than level 2, so that is awesome. Can I join after Guild Fest? All right, so that made me say, okay, well, that guy seems all right, pretty interesting. So then I'm going to actually look at his profile here, and I'm going to see, okay, well, he's in Kingdom 1003. His might's low, and his level is low. But I'm going to take him on his word that he is T4, because I'll know pretty quick if he's not, and just if that's the case. Low star, so he probably has just the initial castle skin with that. Artifacts, 11 stars, 58, that's kind of low. The gear is not too great. And then I'm going to click over on the stats. Now, what I look for is a few different things, right? I look for the gear, I look at the might as an indication. I look at the kills. 13 million kills is not much. I can get that in like 1 KVK, but everybody plays a different role in a guild too, right? So not everyone has to be a lead, not everyone has to be a killer. As long as they still fill or provide resources or provide value to the guild. So you can demonstrate that. One of the first guilds when I first started playing was that I got recruited to was Kill Them All, KXA. And eventually I was R4 and then R5 of that guild and did a merge with the other big guild in there. But in that kingdom in 828. But it was really interesting too, because I was in a free-to-play guild basically, and I had already gotten about 100 million might. I grew, pretty quick. And we would get attacked every single day, like 4 or 5 times, because members didn't shield. So, when you hear all those email complaints, oh, stop attacking us, like, why you, pick on someone your own size and all this stuff, and like they don't realize like I'm 0 and people who have like 4 million, 5 million, troops solo, like T4, T5, whatever. But it's really funny. I'm like, all you have to do is shield and have that basic discipline. And even in the accounts I have which are our 3 accounts in the guild in the same kingdoms that LHO goes, I shield. And I don't drop shields. My main account has only ever had its lead executed one time. And that was very early on when I first started playing. So it's just about discipline in that aspect of it, of shield. Set an alarm and or go into regular times when you play the game and just have that basic shielding discipline. And that's, kind of it. So anyway, so here what I look at is I look at kind of how many wins and, failed attacks, successful attacks. It gives me a sense of how active they are in war. So this is a war game, especially the way, we play it. It's not Farmville. So then I look at the win rate. So 74% is low to me. All my accounts have, over 94, 95, 96%. But I give leeway. So like anything like majority 75 and up, because people can learn, there's a learning curve. Sometimes people went on vacation or did something or stopped playing for a while and their castle just kept getting hit for resources and those sort of things. Troops killed. And then the next one I look at is enemies destroyed my EDM. Now, I don't know if you can see here, but his is actually pretty low. It's like 400 million and 422 million. So it's not that great, for what that represents. Bounties collected, then I see, well, he's been captured 14 times. He's had executed 4 times, and that kind of matches up with a win rate. So just because the kingdom is really slow right now, I'll probably give him a chance when he comes in. But if it was an active kingdom, I would not accept him in. Best rank 125, but I don't really care about, Coliseum. But the next thing I look at here is like, is this guy a team player? So how much food have they sent? How many resources have they sent? How much are they gathering? And how many helps have they sent? So he's actually looks like to be a pretty good team player, in this case. He's almost sent 12,000 helps. So this one is really on the borderline, but I'll give him, a chance if he follows through and applies. The one thing that he did that I did not particularly care about was back to that other email here where he's saying, I just want an answer. Now I'm really busy. I've got, my main account, I've got this kingdom account, I've got 3 kids, I've got my own, things that I do for work and business. So you have to have patience. All right, and not be needy and not spam. Like anyone who keeps spamming me too much, I'm blocking them and I'm moving on, right? You're wasting my time. But he was like, I just wanted an answer, so it wasn't too bad. And I wrote back, I said, hey man, the win percentage is a concern. Shows, you forgot your shield a bunch. We're particular about keeping our troop and lead safe. If you can also handle the 1,500 points minimum guild fest, I don't see it being a problem. Check in again before you migrate. It's a completely dead kingdom now, by the way. So I'm going to be honest with people coming in here who want to join, right? Because they see my kills over 410 million. I have almost a 600-day altar bonus, but I wrecked the kingdom and I killed it in KVK. So I want them to know, like, hey, if you come here, it's a great place that you can learn from me if you like and grow your account. But if you're in guild, if you're not in guild, it's very dangerous. But, I want to be honest because I don't want you to be bored. I don't want you to waste migration scrolls also. And I think that's really important for an R5, or, in an R4 leadership to let people know instead of just trying to recruit if it's not going to be a good fit or people can get bored. And he's saying I can hide troops and join rally, but that means you don't have many troops. You probably don't have the right comp, but that's something I can teach. You can get to 1,500 points. And, spelling stuff, I give a lot of leeway because there's so many different, cultures and things like that in here. So I say should be fine, and that's it. So you want to approach it the right way. You don't want to spam. You don't want to go onto Diplo and just say knock knock. Let's see what's on our board. A drama, right? Like I don't even bother. Like with that. All right. What this says. So translate, open the door for that, open door. So spam, like, don't spam someone else's board, please. Like, it's just so lame. Oh, I didn't know he came in. That's funny. It's funny, like, Hippie was telling me it's harder to get into MD than it is to get an LHO. So just have patience, please. Oh, there was one on here. I think it must have gone in there. Let me all didn't know. But anyway, don't spam. Don't say knock knock, type of thing on the Diplo boards and that kind of thing. And then, if I were to apply to a guild too, I would do almost like what the other person said, but I would do it out of value. Like when I joined that KEXA, which the story I was telling you earlier, and they recruited me pretty actively when I first started playing, is because the guild would get hit all the time. And I would be very disciplined about my shield. So instead of trying to hit them back, which we couldn't, because you couldn't rally and I wasn't strong enough yet, I was still learning the game, I went into their hive and I took their R5 spot. And then for like a 50, 70 mile radius, I killed every single monster. And I would steal their monsters. And I did for like 2-3 days. It was just fun. And it gets people mad and they go through and like, hey, your guild's burning. And I was like, hey, what's that Latin phrase? Like, to let the victor go to the spoils. So I was like, I don't care if they're, if that's burning or not. Right? Well, I know I'm taking your monster. And, that attitude and that personality that you bring, and almost like that brand, right? Like the 10x Dragon brand. When I got to level 25, I rewarded myself and I got the Dragon Castle. And I've had that consistent with my accounts, right? Like 10x Dragon with the O and 10x Dragon with the 0. But like that's always my main castle skin right there. And that's what I use. And they know that, hey, that's 10x Dragon, even though other people have it. So there's that, just a little bit of added something there that comes with it and gets people to know you. So I'll go into a kingdom or people will see and like, hey, were you in A2A before, or do you remember this? And I've been playing the game for about 1.5 years. So you start to get to know people and it helps. So instead of like always changing your name all the time or having a dumb name, like have something cool that you like that relates to you and keep it and stick with it. Unless you're trapping or something, right, where you want to change it and vary it up. But it does help because then that's your brand. So I could probably go to almost any guild and they would accept me now as well. Because like, if I were to apply here, I would not apply in Monster Hunting gear. So my main account actually has a full mythic, temper, like, a lot of some, monster gear. But for this account, I didn't really, put too much into it. But if I were to apply, and most people do apply in Hunter gear, by the way, which I think is kind of funny. I don't care about Hunter gear. If you're applying, show me your war gear. And so I can see what you have. So for me here, for example, I mean, obviously I've got, 4-piece champ. I've got 2 mythic cups. I don't know, they were not going to really be able to see that I'm jeweled up all the way, but let me show you what you see here. So what people see is really what I want them to see too, right? Like, so even like the Lightweaver character, hero, it keeps, people guessing on their toes. They see that I've got, gold paid hero, Lore Weaver. They can't see my jewels, but they see that I've got all 2 mythic cups, ring, which is a really good, solid combination. I have then otherwise 5-piece champ, 31, castle stars, and 46 artifact stars, and 181. So most people are going to look at this and guess that, okay, he's probably between like 8 and 900 or 950 attack, right? Which is pretty accurate on this account. They're going to look at my might. All right, he's over 1 billion. That's good. And I'm actually keeping my might down on purpose. And then, the kills. And the kills are great, right? Especially for a closed kingdom. And then if they look on here, they're going to see that I've got 9,355 victories. I've got 322 losses. That puts me at almost a 97% win tile rate, and all the troops killed. I've got my EDM at 11.5 billion. And then, I've captured almost 2,000 leaders. I've killed almost 650 of them. And I've only been captured 20 times. And I've been killed twice. Sorry, I'm on a video. And I have escaped twice. That's not too bad. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being capped or being executed or, that aspect of it. That's just part of the game. Coliseum rank is 1, best rank is 1, and food sent. Obviously, I help my guild out all the time. And I practice what I preach. So, I've gathered about 1 billion. I'm not a huge farmer. But I've sent over 36,000 helps. That shows I'm a big team player. It shows that I've given almost 6 billion in food. My account actually can make about 250 million food per day, the way I've set it up, and all the other stuff here. So I would be very valuable, of course, as a lead to have for a guild. As well, if I wasn't having mine. And even though I have mine in Armor 5, I still get people asking me to come over, on that side of it. The other thing is, too, is like, when you're a member, always look through, make sure you're following all the rules. And, you know who your guilds are and, that aspect of it. It also helps if you know somebody, right? So if you are friends with someone, you know someone, or you reach out to someone else in the guild, say, hey, instead of asking to apply, think about almost like a job interview. Like, hey, what's the guild like? I'm looking for a new guild. The reason I want to leave my guild is that we don't have that many active people, and I really like the game. I like war, but they're more, farming, and I'm looking for a guild that likes to fight more, right? So make sure when you're applying for a guild that they line up to how you want to play the game. If you want to be like a monster hunting guild and just do monster hunting all the day, well, that's fine. That's how you want to play. So find a guild that does that as well. And the other things to consider are like, what language is the guild primarily in? What geographic time zone area? You want to be, a lot of Chinese guilds only like to play with Chinese members because of the language, but also because the time zone is the same, and it can help. So I've always more been in international guilds. Like, I love everybody. I love different cultures, and I know that everybody really is the same. Everyone has the same wants and needs. So I'm very empathetic with that. And so we have people from China, Japan, Korea, Latin America, Europe, UK, Canada, all throughout the US. And I'm in the US myself. And, India, Australia. And it's such a diverse group. And there are trade-offs. You have to translate more than I would probably like, but at the same time, you have people in your guild 24/7, which offers better protection and warning, right? If something's going down or someone's dropping on you, and you have those communication mechanisms in place, which you should if you're an R5 or R4. So that's a consideration for you, right? Like, you want to be in the guild with the same language. And those rules. So that's really important for that good fit aspect of it. And that's the main thing, right? Just make sure you have those requirements down. Make sure you're active, and you're good to go, right? And just show value, and don't try to be sneaky or hide or trying to try to pull one over on them. Eventually everybody finds out, right? It's not that hard of a game. Like, you say, oh, I've got T4, but then when you join a DN, you're only setting 1 T3 because we don't allow T3 in the rallies, and it's obvious that you lied, and then you're out. The other thing is, if you say, well, I'm going to have T4 in the next week with the latest techno round and, for Kingdom Labors. And you explain exactly where you are. And then you follow through with that, and then you develop those T4, then you're good. Like, people will make exceptions for that. Or if you bring a couple people with you, like we had someone who did not have T4 yet, but they brought 2 T4 accounts and someone else. And my son actually got me into Lures Mobile, much to the chagrin of my wife and everyone else. But when I went to any guild, I always said, well, hey, I gotta let you know, it's a package deal. If you want me, you get this account too. Has to be in the same guild as me. And most people were very accommodating for that aspect. Even when I joined LHO, I brought one of my friends, Winterfell, over from one of my old guilds. And so we could just get, back and have our excitement back in the game at that level. Like, one of the reasons I started that all in Kingdom 1000 is it got kind of boring in Open Kingdom, right? It's just rally and, keep shield and protect. It was really boring. But when we went to LHO, it was a brand new experience for us because now you're in guilds with and fighting against people with full champ gear, full temper gear, 150 stars, and people already maxed out on artifacts and all the new heroes already. It's insanely scary. So you're seeing people with like 1300% plus attack levels and bonuses. So when someone hits a rally, it's doing like 10 or 12 million in one hit. It's insane. So it was a cool new dynamic for us, and it made the game more fun, right? Like, I lost on yesterday, 1 million T5, helping with the Emperor, win. I'm not sorry, the Emperor, the Baron win. And it was fun. It was a cool experience. I learned a lot, and, it was funny just trying to like wait and like spam to reinforce and like try to hit your speed so you can get in and lock it in before. That aspect of it. And, contrary to what people think, we did everything manual. So it was a crazy, experience, during that part of it. But it's fun, right? So that revitalized me. You should be in a guild and play in a way that makes the game fun for you as well. So that's my advice on how to join a guild, how to be attractive, and what R5s really look for, right? So 1, make sure you meet the requirements. 2, no cause drama or bring drama into the guild. 3, reach out and communicate with appropriate person without spamming, and just let them know, hey, I'm looking for a new guild, want to join. This is what I have to offer and bring to you, right? Not what I need, what I give to you. And, explain your situation realistically, and then make sure you follow through on what you said you would do. And then you're good to go. And that's it. That's so simple. So this is 10x Dragon. I'm signing off. I hope you liked it. I know I got a little long-winded on here, but I'm also now about to shoot another video at the same time. Now, on the other side of it, if you're an R4, R5, and you want to bring more people into your guild, how can you do it? So in Kingdom 1000, it's a completely dead kingdom. We have almost 100 people in the guild. And we have a sub guild with almost as full. And then we have another guild now for our alts and our hypers coming in. And so we pretty much, it's just our kingdom. And how did I do that? And especially when we had competitive times, when we had like 11K, full champs dropping in on us and stronger guilds dropping in and all that. How do we weather it? How do we win? And how do we bring people to us? And it's very funny because some of those guilds we fought, some of the members stayed with us instead of migrating out with the people. And that's a really funny aspect of it, just because most people, when they fight another guild, they take it very personal. Like, if you saw the hate mail, I probably have to start a thing where it's like hate mail Fridays or something, where I just read all the mail that I've gotten that people are so mad when they got zeroed, and even if it was like 20,000 or 100,000 troops, and it's, so little. But they take it so personally. And they call you names, and they say they want to do things to your family members, and like just so crude and rude. It just amazes me. Now, I like to win. I'm very competitive. Don't get it twisted. But at the same time, I'm always going to be respectful to other people as well and have fun. So all my greatest enemies in any kingdom have actually become my friends in the game. as well. You know, I invite you to be my friend too. But if you're not in my guild, I still may zero you or attack you, and you can feel free to attack me too. But you can join at 10xdragon.com/discord, and you can see what I'm doing, keep up to date, and communicate. And if you have questions, you can ask questions. You know, I'm always helpful to other players as well because I'm in the same spot. I'm always learning myself. So enjoy the day, finish your Guildfest quest, do the extra Guildfest quest, pay the $1,000 in gems. You get so much more back in the guild gifts for any guild I've ever been in. So don't be cheap. Do what's good for your guild and help out all your members. All right, this is 10x Dragons. Have a wonderful day.